All right, well, I'm gonna get started
Get
until I
started.
mute. Yeah.
You're good. Everyone's muted just about. There we go.
Okay, cool. So again, welcome to the meeting. I'm one of your facilitators. I'm Jay. I use he, him pronouns, and the other facilitator is
Doree, and I use she, her pronouns. Hello.
Paul is screen sharing. So if you have anything that needs to be screen shared, send them to Paul, and you can direct message Paul to get his email. And Carolina, and I said it correctly just now, is taking notes. Thank you for taking notes, Carolina. And let's see here. We're going to first, we're going to go over the basic facilitation housekeeping stuff. Our general community guidelines are step up, step back, meaning that if you're someone who has a big voice in the organization, just please be mindful of that and give newer voices and folks who don't speak up as readily a chance to speak up, and folks who aren't as ready to speak up, just don't feel cowed into silence. Please, we want all voices. Even if this is your first meeting, we want you to participate. We want you to raise your hand and speak and comment on the topics that we discuss, or your experiences at our actions, etc. And if you do have a question, comment, concern, anything to add to the meeting, we ask that you raise your digital hand rather than your physical hand. That way it's easier for Cherie and me to see, and that's raising this hand down here that you get by clicking a little heart on the bottom of your screen. For folks who are presenting things that are on the agenda, we ask that you use the time before you speak your point in the agenda, to compose and organize your presentation and your thoughts so that it's as clear as possible to folks, because a lot of information comes to folks, and we just want to make sure that everyone understands what you're saying and what your suggestions are. And if you're talking about an action, the most important things are day, date, place, time. Like, remember those things right off the bat, at the beginning of your introduction of it, and also at the end, to remind people day, place, date, time. And try to stay on topic when we're talking about stuff, when we're discussing a particular item. Try not to veer into tangents, just so that we can remain focused, because we've got a pretty packed agenda, and we don't want to go astray. This is the point where I ask, are there any working journalists here present in the meeting? We welcome working journalists. We absolutely encourage journalists to attend our meetings, but we ask that you identify yourself. If you're not working, if you just happen to be a journalist, no need to identify yourself. But if you're here covering the meeting for anything, please identify yourself by raising your digital hand and introducing yourself. And law enforcement. If there are anyone, law enforcement, you are not welcome. And technically, by law, you are required to identify yourself if you're any municipal, state, or federal law enforcement. We're talking about UICE. But we know that this is a lawless administration, so if it were any federal ones, they most certainly would not be identifying themselves. And so we say that to say, be mindful of that. Someone here might be law enforcement, and so, even though we are a completely nonviolent direct action activist group, we know that a lot of people don't have sensitive humors and will take things out of context to make us into violent Antifa gangbangers, or whatever they're calling Antifa these days. Let's see here. Oh, for voting, very important. Even if this is your very, very, very first meeting, you are entitled to vote. If we vote on whether or not to do an action, to take a stance, what have you, all are welcome to vote. And when we vote by raising our physical hands, like so. Now, mind you, if you're in a situation when you're on a phone or something and you're not on camera, then please do use the digital hand raise. And so, has someone put the agenda into the chat? Yep. Okay, great. The agenda is in the chat, so you can click on that to follow along if you didn't get the email with it. And because the agenda will help you follow along, and also look it over during this little welcome period, because there's no need to say, oh, I wanted to bring up this thing, and then that thing is actually on the agenda. It's just a little bit later, so just have a look over the agenda. And now's the point where I want to welcome. Are there any newcomers? I've referred to new folks in the meeting several times already. Maybe there aren't any, but maybe there are. And if there are, please raise your hand and introduce yourself. Raise your digital hand so I can see it easily, and I can call on you. I'm assuming that no one's raising their hand, so it looks like we're all old hats here, or at least moderately old hats here. And even if let's say it's your second or third meeting, you're not technically a newcomer, please participate in the conversation. And then all the information you ever need about Rise and Resist, about joining our committees, our working groups, it's all on the welcome page of the Rise and Resist website, which is www.riseandresist.org. And we encourage newer folks to get involved on the committees, because that's where all of the work gets pushed forward that we talk about in the meetings. All right, so next up is good news.
We have a hand raise.
Oh, thank you. Oh yes, hi, Caitlin B. Thank you.
Hi, newcomer. Sorry, it took me a little bit to figure out how to raise my hand there, but yeah.
Okay.
But I am
here.
welcome.
What brought you to Rise and Resist?
Yeah, just wanting to feel like I can do something. I'm a social worker, and obviously I work on a very micro level a lot of the time, but just wanted to find another way to get involved.
Wonderful. Well, welcome. We're very happy to have you. Thanks you for joining
Excited
us.
to be here.
Awesome. We did have a new person. Yay. All right. So, and I see another hand is up. Terry.
Yes, I'm here. Hi. Some of you folks know me. I've just been around for a while, but not attending these meetings until very recently. I've started logging on. I attended the first rally in 2016 when Trump was first elected, and there was this meeting at the LGBT Center, and everyone was very galvanized. And I think that's what this group evolved out of, is that original meeting. But I really haven't been involved since. I'm a big fan of Rise and Resist and the work you do, which is sweeping and so steadfast. And a lot of your folks I know and admire. So anyway, that's who I am. And I've invited my sister to join these calls. She lives in a small town in Colorado. She's obviously not going to be at Fox on Tuesday mornings, but she could use some inspiration and some vitality that this group has.
Wonderful. Well, welcome, Terry. Welcome back, I should say, maybe, and welcome to your sister.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Sure.
And I hope it can be an inspiration to your sister. And Donna, I see your hand is up. Donna Frankel? Or was that a mistake? I know you're not new. All right, I'm guessing that was a mistake. All right, so we're going to go on to good news, and we have a lot of good news. And if there's any good news that's not in our little list here, feel free to raise your hand and add some good news. So one, activists using inflatable costumes to challenge the narrative and demonstrate nonviolence at Portland and Chicago ICE protests. The inflatables rule the world. They're wonderful. We love the inflatables. And that's a really good cue for us in New York, who are expecting ICE to, not ICE, well, ICE and other federal troops to show up. Second piece of good news is also aligned to that court scrutiny of the ICE operations in Chicago and Portland There's limits have been put on the National Guard deployment, on warrantless arrests, and the use of force against protesters and journalists. We know that this is a lawless administration, so we're not sure how much those court rulings are going to count, but they at least establish a precedent. Robert, you want to add a piece of good news? Is that where your hand is
Well,
up?
just to the humorous activism in Portland, there were also people with fishing poles with donuts on the end of them as bait.
Fishing poles and donuts. Yes, that was epic. That was so good. Oh, that was really, really funny. Third piece of good news is that the SCOTUS has rejected Ghislaine Maxwell's appeal. And other SCOTUS good news, they also rejected info. Oh God, what was his name? I blanked. His name has gone out of my head.
Alex Jones.
Alex
Alex
Jones.
Jones. Thank you. His appeal of the $1.4 billion defamation judgment in the Sandy Hook case. So our SCOTUS is occasionally like a broken clock, being right twice a day. Our SCOTUS occasionally does the right thing. Next thing is that the judge assigned to the Letitia James fraud case is a Black and openly gay judge. And that maybe bodes well for Tish James. So that's good. And the final two ones we have here are one that most major news operations, all but OAN and probably Fox, have pushed back on the Secretary of War Hegseth's, Secretary of Defense Hegseth, demands regarding press credentials for the Pentagon, that they agree not to publish confidential or classified information about the Defense Department in order to get a press credential. Everybody has pushed back on that. All the major news outlets. OAN is the only one that actually signed the agreement that Hegseth asked of them, and Fox is like somewhere in the middle. They haven't formally said they're going to follow it. They haven't signed it, but they also haven't joined all of the other media companies in saying they will not. And then finally, airports across the country, in Buffalo, New York, Charlotte, North Carolina, Cleveland, Ohio, Los Angeles, California, Phoenix, Arizona, Seattle, Washington, Las Vegas, Nevada, and Portland, Oregon. Portland again. They're refusing to play this video that Kristi Noem, the Homeland Security Secretary, has created that's blaming congressional Democrats for the ongoing federal government shutdown and therefore the recent travel delays caused by the sick outs that a lot of air traffic controllers and airport staff are doing because they're not getting paid. And that's all I have for good news. And I see that maybe there's another hand up. Sunny, did you have a piece of good news?
Yeah, JFK, LaGuardia, and Newark just announced that they are not showing the video.
Oh, thank goodness. Yay. I was wondering where our local airports were in that. I was like, what's going on here?
Yeah. Yeah.
Excellent. Thank you for adding that, Sunny. That is good news. Jamie, Leo.
My bit of good news is medicinal. There is, until this Sunday in Grand Central Terminal, an enormously popular artist, Branton Stanton. You may know all of his 20 years of Humans of New York, but it is considered one of the largest art exhibitions since the Gates. And if you've seen it already, give a smile, because it is completely extraordinary. It is throughout Grand Central. In the Vanderbilt room, he chose, instead of having an extra room of his work, to include the photography of 600 student photographers and 11 photographers who feature local New York imagery. It is great, and you need to take your walking shoes because you need to get lost. You need to drag your butt down to the bottom of the 7. You need to go. It's on platforms. They bought every single inch of ad space. That's why it's only up for a couple of weeks. But it is truly thrilling and truly good medicine. And I'm dropping it right now.
Great. Thank you, Jamie. And Sunny, is that your hand up again for another piece? Oh, no, that's just a mistake. Okay, cool. All right. So then, I don't see any other hands. Oh, wait a minute. A hand just went up. Casey, another piece of good news.
Yeah, I took this as good news. I would think others may or may not. On Saturday, this past Saturday, New Yorker Radio Hour did a very positive and good interview David Rebnick did with Mondami. And it was really worth listening to. So I would, if you didn't hear it, I can throw the link in the chat if people want to listen to it another time, because you can listen to it. It was just very positive and it was good. I was happy to hear it.
Awesome. Thank you.
Mhm.
And then I think it didn't end up on the agenda, but we did talk about it during the facilitation meeting. And so, regardless of where, how we feel about all of the parties involved in it, any end to active warfare is good news. And, regardless of the details, it is good that more people are not being bombed in Gaza. And so whatever this deal is, whether it's a ceasefire, whether it ends up being temporary or permanent, even though more people were killed after the ceasefire by the IDF, there will be less death, there will be less destruction, less suffering, even in at least in the short term. Hopefully that will last for longer. So, we got to take what good we can out of a very, very messy agreement. And if there's no other good news, then we're going to go on to our 3 recurring actions. The first one is the Immigration Vigil every Thursday. Who's going to present on that?
So I can talk about that. Every Thursday from noon to 1 p.m., we do a pretty much silent immigration vigil outside of 26 Federal Plaza mostly at the Worth Street entrance, which is for employees, but also around the corner at the Duane Street entrance, which employees who want to avoid us try to go through, but we still get them. It was cold last week. It's going to be windy again, unusually windy, so dress a little more warmly than you would usually if you're going to come on Thursday. We had new signs that were directed at ICE agents. ICE agents, what do you tell your kids? How many families have you destroyed? That were fairly powerful, and people wanted to hold them, which I take as an indication that the messages spoke to the people who were there. So we had about 90 people, which is great. And, it's open to everybody, and people really held the space and kept the silence. And if other people would like to speak particularly about the messaging, that would be really useful. Just raise your hand.
Thank you, Jamie. Would anyone else like to add anything to that, as Jamie is asking? Feel free to raise your hand. Anybody that was there? Oh, I see Jackie Rudin's hand is up.
We made some new signage that was directed more strongly at the ICE people, that we showed that last Thursday, and I thought it was terrific. It was much more pointed, how do you go home to your children? How do you do, it was like trying to make them understand how disgusting what they're doing is. And we came up with some of those slogans and actions, and Julie got it together, and they worked great.
Thanks, Jackie. And Robert put in the chat that he counted 100 after at least a few people had left, Jamie. So
there were at least 110 that I counted.
At least 110 by Jackie's count. Amazing. Wendy.
Yeah, this speaks to don't take the bait. I was standing on the Duane Street side in front of one of those entrances, and there was somebody who was just giving it to us. And finally, nobody was taking the bait. He finally walked away, came back a few minutes later, started up again, just on and on and on and on and on. Finally, he left. And the security guard, who's been there for a couple of weeks, is very sweet to us, came over and said, sometimes there are people you just don't want to talk to. It was so brilliant. So I appreciated it. I appreciated him. He seems to appreciate us.
That's good. Was that a passerby, Wendy, or was that a person that came out of the building?
Came out of the building. I'm pretty sure he came out of the building because it looked like he went back in.
Oh, like went out for lunch and then came back. Wow. All right. Anyone else like to add anything? Jamie, anything you'd like to close with?
No, just that even though there is a government shutdown, the ICE courts are in session, the ICE agents are coming in and out, and it's really important that we maintain our presence there during the shutdown.
Great. Thank you, Jamie. And then Julie is up next for Fox Lives.
Fox Lives, Truth Tuesdays. We bring the truth to Fox every Tuesday for 4 years now. Fox headquarters at 48th Street and 6th Avenue, 12 to 1 every Tuesday. Fox Propaganda headquarters. Today at Fox, I think we have some photos. Today at Fox, we had a lot of, Robert was pointing out, a lot of get-a-jobs, a lot of negativity. Not sure why. And then we had a really special event, Lori Arbeiter's group that was doing an action from Times Square to Trump Tower with Epstein messaging, happened to walk, their route took them past Fox. So it was just as we were wrapping up and doing what we call the class photo. And they joined us for that. And it was just a terrific confluence. Timing is everything. The theme today, of course, was pushing out for the No Kings March on Saturday. We put some videos together. I put them on TikTok. Hopefully, did I send it to Rise and No, I will. I promise right away. But I actually tagged Rise and Resist on it so to collaborate. So if you could just do that, that would be great. Otherwise, a great day. Please join us every Tuesday. If we don't stop the propaganda, we can't detox poisoned minds, and we can't bring the country back from this absolute insanity. We've got to turn the spigot of poison off in order to stop the poison. That'll do it. Thanks. And if anybody else wants to chime in on today, please do.
Yes, I see Elizabeth. I see your hand is up.
Yeah, I'm just right. I had a question because she mentioned Saturday. Obviously, I'm planning to join the No Kings March, and I don't know if you're planning to talk about this later, but I probably won't be.
That's Elizabeth. That's in the upcoming actions. So we'll be giving all the information about the No Kings March during upcoming actions, which is next.
Okay, thank you.
All right, Paul.
I had a fun experience today. I saw Cheryl Hines coming out of a town car going into Fox, and I berated her, and I yelled at her and said, "Wait, it's you. Why are you still with him? He cheated with everyone he's ever been with, and he's cheating with you, and he's cheating on you, and you hiding your junk food from him. He's hiding a lot worse from you." It was very, very good. It was a good feeling.
Oh, wow. She went straight to Fox News after leaving The View.
I saw that interview on The View.
Yeah.
Oh my God, she's just as pathetic as he is. I thought she was, something other. But then again, how would she be with him if she was something? She was just as pathetic as he is. Also.
Yeah, I feel bad. You know, I almost feel bad for her because it's like all the straight girls in the country that dream of marrying a Kennedy, and then she ends up marrying the absolute worst one that the entire family has turned their backs on.
But she knew what she was getting into. I mean, she knew who he was.
Yeah.
I can't feel sorry for her at all. She tried so hard to justify it to like Whoopi and Joy Behar today on The View. Forget about it. They were
Yeah.
not having it.
No, they weren't. They weren't. Okay, so gonna go on to the Cowardly Law Firm crawl. Zach, are you here to present? Is Zach still here yet, or who headed up the law firm crawl today? I know Zach's been away. Anyone? Was anyone who was on the law firm crawl here?
I have pictures from an old one.
Madeline, is that you with your hand up? Oh, Cindy.
You can call on Cindy. Yeah, call on Cindy.
Hi, yes, I was on the law firm crawl, and I want to say I'm so grateful and thankful for everybody that we've managed to keep this going for 3 weeks while Zach has been away. He should be back next week. So what happens is we leave from Fox News and we walk a few blocks up to Latham and Watkins and hold signs in front of their building, and we stay there for about 15 minutes. And then we walk another block up 6th Avenue to Paul Weiss and stay there for about 15 minutes. And then we walk just down the block, half block, to the passageway where we're at Paul Weiss and Wilkie Farr, and we hit both of them at the same time. We've had about, I'd say, 12 to 15 people that have been showing up for those for the past couple weeks, and we get a lot of thumbs up and people thanking us for being there. And today we also had a sign for No Kings on Saturday, and a lot of people said that they were going to be there. I don't know if they were the lawyers that worked there, but people did say that they were coming. So hopefully Zach will be back next week, and I will bring the signs, and we'll do it anyway, whether he's back or not.
Great, thank you, Cindy. And for newcomers, these are the law firms that have capitulated to the Trump administration and agreed to handle pro bono defenses of him, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And so we've been doing that for, it feels like about 4 months, 5 months, maybe longer.
Yeah.
And thank you everybody who participated in that. And now I'm going to turn it over to Cherie for upcoming actions.
Yes, thank you, Jay. We're going to talk about all the upcoming actions that are not weekly recurring actions. These are the one-off recurring actions. The first one we're going to talk about is going to be Friday, October 17th. We're going to be doing a lights action for Mamdani. Jonathan, are you going to talk about that?
Yeah, thank you so much, Cherie. Jonathan, he, him. Hi, everyone. Yeah, so, who, what, where, when, how, why, we know why. We want to do the same that was done in Brooklyn with the light up Zoran letters at the overpass at 46th Street at the Intrepid, where we've been before with various messaging. Friday night is a great night because it's rush hour. 6:30 is great because it's already dark, as we know. We got a lot of response from these letters, and in fact, there was a little video that Robert Cronquist made that made it to the Mondami campaign. So it'd be 6:30 at the southeast corner of 46th and the West Side Highway. But I have a question, and I need your all's help, because I put out an email to the usual suspects, and I didn't get a lot of response to it. I want to know what people think. Would people like to kick this to next week? We've got, a lot of work gearing up towards No Kings on Saturday. And Saturday morning is the meetup, particularly for marshals and planning people. I'm marshaling. I sort of thought that it would be a great way to kind of kick into No Kings to do Mandami that night. But if people's bandwidths are not like right there, then I'm very, very happy to move it to next week. We've got some time, and I'd love a little input on this. Jackie wants to kick it. Jackie, you've always kicked it. And I mean, you kicking it, girl. Got a couple questions.
I'm going to call on Rick.
Yeah, I can't do it because I have a conflict. I hope enough people want to, because I think we don't all have that much time. But obviously, if there aren't enough people, it can kick. And I was also going to say, I have more time starting next week, and I'd like to do 2 or 3 more of these before the election. I think it would play really well in the place where you guys, I haven't really been in the subway on Times Square, where you're just catching New Yorkers. I think it would play well at the approach to the Manhattan Bridge, where we've done things. So we should keep doing them, but, just depends if enough people want to Friday and can.
We could do a quick raising of hands to see how many people are able to do it this coming week that you, as you requested. Would you, Jonathan, would you like to do that?
Critical mass right now is we've got 5, Jennifer Van Dyke, myself, and 3 other people. I sent out to about 16, 18 people and didn't hear back from most. I think a lot of people are stretched thin. But yes, Cherie, I'd love to see if people are game.
You have a few on the chat right now.
On Friday, and what would be great is if I can get enough, I'd love to get your email addresses, and then I will reach out to you.
Okay, so why doesn't anybody who wants to do it this coming week, as per Jonathan's original plan, put your email address in the chat, and John can coordinate with you during the week about what time to meet, and you all could work that out.
And I see. So right now, Vivian is saying next week, but Madeline is available. And I'm sorry, Madeline, I don't have your email address, as I was going to reach out to you.
Everybody should just put their email address in who's interested in doing this, whether this week or next week, and you can coordinate online, via email with the group, and set up times. People will be able to tell you, I can do this week, I can do next week, whatever.
I need 9. That's critical mass. So it's 7 for the letters and the exclamation point, a marshal, and then someone to sort of art direct. Gina Randazzo has committed to taking photographs. She's so we've got Gina who wants to do it.
Okay, great. It sounds like a lot of people are putting their emails in the chat. A lot of people are interested. I think you're going to get your critical mass, John.
Thanks. And I think what we'll do is, going forward, is that every Tuesday we'll check in and go like, hey, who can do this week? And we'll just pick a spot, pick a day, pick a time, and just go hit it. It's an hour, 6:30 to 7:30. Done, one and done, a lot of fun. And as Robert said, we talked the other day, he said, there's a video and it's great when the letters move, like they dance. Robert did a great video and it got to the Mandami campaign and they were crazy about it. So I'm going to go through the chat. Looks like I see a lot in next week's, but what I'd like to do is just deal with Friday. And we'll deal with next week. I'm not going to put together a list for next week. I would love to just put a list together due to my bandwidth for this week, for this Friday.
Where are you doing?
Much appreciation for all of you who are putting in for next week, but I would love to just grab who can do it on Friday.
Where is it going to be on Friday, Jonathan? Where is it going to be? Where is it going to be on Friday?
So once again, 46th Street, southeast corner of 46th and West Side Highway, where we've been before a number of times with Arrest Trump and with Kamala. that's a shot from that. And then we have Arrest Trump pictures, and we've been there any number of times. It's a great spot. Thousands of people see this.
Okay.
Thank you, everyone.
Great, thank you. And I want to let everybody know who's putting their email in the chat that when we will scrape all those emails before we write up the minutes.
Correct.
So nobody's email is going to be put in the minutes. This is all going to be disappeared before the minutes go out. Just wanting you to know your emails are safe. All right, next action is going to be the No Kings. We're going to have time to talk about No Kings. Jamie.
Okay, so I think everybody knows No Kings is this Saturday. Rise and Resist is doing two things. One of the things we're doing is we are going to have our own contingent that is meeting no later than 10:45 at 39th Street and 7th Avenue near the button sculpture with the needle in it. It's huge. You can't miss it. The area is going to be crowded, so give yourself some extra time to get there. There are probably going to be other people meeting there. There's going to be some art that was unloaded there earlier, so be forewarned, it could be crowded. The rest of us, or many of us, are also marshaling the march. The march is meeting up in the Times Square area, marching down 7th Avenue to 14th Street and dispersing. If you have procrastinated and you have not signed up to Marshall yet, please sign up to Marshall. I'll put the link to the Marshall page in there. If you signed up, you should have gotten an email from me telling you about a bunch of meetings that we're having this week. A whole bunch of people in Rise and Resist are going to be team captains of block, like a block captain. Others are just going to mentor some new people who haven't marshaled before. If you have not gotten an email from me telling you about that stuff, contact me and I'll make sure you get it, because I want everybody to have all the information. We're not quite at the number of marshals we need. So if you have friends who have marshaled and are on the, I don't know, I'd really like to just go enjoy and march, tell them they have to marshal.
Dan has raised his hand. Go ahead, Dan.
Yeah.
Or is that George Orwell?
That's Dan.
I know.
It's me. Yeah, some people, there's some controversy about the meetup. I'm not going to say who, but their name right with Matthew was giving me shit. So, yeah, I don't, about spreading the word of, because that's where art is going to
The art should be out of
setting
there
up
by 10:45. If the art is still there by 10:45, they have a problem. The art should be out of there. It's a whole huge plaza.
Okay, Sandy.
Yeah, Jamie, could you go over? I know there are quite a few people who are going to be meeting at 39th Street and 7th Avenue. And you had said at one time the No Kings March, they have a main banner and that we could slip in right behind that?
No, not right behind it. Let it go for a few minutes.
Okay.
Jump in, because there's a whole set of props that go with the front banner, as well as some of, like New York Immigration Coalition is going to have some stuff. So
let that go for a while.
So let that, not that long, but you want to be at least like a block back from where the banner is.
Andy.
Hi, folks. We're going to be printing out our quarter sheet flyers to give to people who are ready to get excited and energized and organized and want to know what the next steps are. And so we'd love your help handing out those quarter sheet flyers. If you're going to be marching with the RAR contingent, I'd be happy to give you some of those. If you're going to be carrying props or marshalling and you think when the march is over, you'll be able to help hand those out as the crowds are dispersing and your role is done, I'd be happy to give those to you. If you could put your email in the chat, if you can DM me here, or if you could email media@riseandresist.org if you're able to help hand out flyers for No Kings. We would love your help. We're going to have thousands of quarter sheet flyers, and we want to get them in as many hands as possible. Also, I put the link to the Facebook event for the RAR contingent in the chat as well. And so if you use Facebook, if you want to RSVP, you can use that link. And Facebook has a handy invite your friends option and share option. So we'd love it if you could help us get the word out using that as well. Thanks.
Thank you, Andy. Elizabeth.
Yeah, I just was wondering, are you going to be providing signs?
There will be some
Saturday?
signs and some banners, yes.
So I don't have to bring my own.
If you want to bring your own sign, you are always more than welcome to bring your own sign. There's not a guarantee that there'll be a sign for everybody because people want signs. But we will have at least one banner and some signs.
Thank you.
And homemade signs are always nice.
Yeah.
Judy.
I thank you all for everything you're doing. I just have a real quick question for Andy. Is there an online leaflet that I can print out that tells the information for people to go there? Somebody said they were going to go, but they didn't have anything. And same question to you, Andy. Is it for the Actions Committee meeting tomorrow? Is it the same link that you sent me, I think, last week, or is it different every week?
Angie, do you want to reply directly?
Yeah, the Actions link is the same every week, the Zoom link, and I'll email you after regarding the flyers.
Okay, I'll put my email. Thank you very much.
Okay. Is there anything else, Jamie, that you need to tell people about No Kings?
No. Just like I said, push your friends to marshal if you know people who could marshal and are not marshaling.
Okay, thank you. Richard.
Yeah, one of the Trump officials has been saying that this is a paid crowd, that people who are in the No Kings March are being paid and they're agitators. So I'd like to know where I can sign up to get my money. Anybody know?
Yeah, Paul just put up the Love America rally. It's very important to counter this their propaganda that it's a hate America rally. So yes, everything we can do to say the opposite is good. Virginia.
Just curious, Jamie, how many marshals are you at now?
We are somewhere in the 230 to 240 range, but that is, it's a slightly longer route. It's like 10 blocks longer than the last route, which means we need like another 50 to 60 marshals for that. So even though that sounds like a shit ton of marshals, you can never have too many, and we don't have too many.
Thank you. Elaine.
Just a quick note that I did see a guy at some other event recently, and he had a button on his hat which said unpaid protester. So that's always a possibility instead of looking for money.
Thank you, Elaine. Yeah. Dan?
Yeah, just real quick. One of the things you can do is sort of like, separation ad absurdum. So just say, yeah, we're making $100,000 for the march, et cetera, et cetera. I think it's a good way to actually lean into it. Just tell them you're making a shit ton of money, et cetera, because it kind of puts a pin on how absurd the whole thing is.
That's one strategy. Elizabeth?
I saw something that said that the march would be from Duffy Square to Madison Square Park, which would be 23rd Street. But I think Jamie said 14th Street.
It is going to 14th Street.
It is 14th Street.
Yes. Which is a busway, so it should be very easy to disperse onto it.
Right, Union Square. Mm-hmm.
Dan, is that a new hand? Are you still, Dan? Did you want to continue speaking? Okay, no, it's down. Julie.
If there are any trained patrol marshals who are up to it, we are not, the roster is about half filled. So please, please.
Don't steal my marshals.
Jamie, they gotta come from somewhere. I can't pull them out of thin air.
All the marshals are important.
All right. All marshals matter.
All marshals matter.
All marshals matter. All marshals matter.
Our marshals.
Okay, Jackie.
I just wanted to clarify to Elizabeth, it's not going to be Union Square. It's going to be 7th Avenue and 14th Street, not Union Square. And they'll disperse, west and east of that. But it's not Union Square. I just want to clear that up.
Oh, because it goes down Broadway, doesn't it?
No, 7th Avenue, Broadway. Broadway has been pedestrianized and filled up with sculptures and tables and all sorts of stuff. You cannot bring a march down Broadway anymore.
So it's 7th Avenue.
It used to be a beautiful thing, but it is no more.
Yeah, 7th Avenue, nice and wide, all the way down, very wide.
Mm-hmm.
Goes past Penn Station, et cetera, very wide. All right, moving on. Disability Pride Parade, Sunday, October 19th. Jennifer, are you going to talk about it?
Yes, I am. So after a big day on Saturday, we're going to have a celebration on Sunday. It's Disability Pride, and the Elevator Action Group, for those who don't know, is the disability rights portion of Rise and Resist. There's a map, look. So look at that red circle. We are meeting up in Section E, which is East 25th Street between Madison and Park Avenue South. Thank you, Paul, for the arrow. Yes. And then we will be going up Madison, over 26th, and then down Broadway to Union Square. It's a 10-block parade, and there will be all kinds of mobility machines and ways of moving, and people lining Broadway, and then a celebration at Union Square when we get there. This is last year's, you can see our banner. For those of you who don't know our banner, our Elevators Are for Everyone banner. Look for that at our lineup spot on East 26th Street. East 25th Street, Section E. There will be people who have a list of where people are lining up. If you get lost, and just ask where the Elevator Action Group is lining up. We would love to have as many people who want to celebrate after a big day on Saturday joining us. The march kicks off at 11. Please come at 10:30 or thereabouts to line up. And then it will be a very slow, leisurely march down to Union Square. Can I see a show of hands about, just so we know in terms of banners, who's coming? Love it. Oh, we are thrilled. Okay. The more the merrier. It's a great parade. And we've been doing it for many years. And the theme of this year's march, I'm putting this in the chat just so you have the actual facts, is Love Unites. Who can't get around that message? Are there any questions? All right, join us with whatever, and there will be, for those who can't march or only want to do a block, there are stations on every block with a different theme, and you can just pull over and cheer people on from the side. So it's available for everyone, fully accessible. All right, can't wait to see all of you there. Thanks so much.
you.
Yeah, Laura,
Thank
do you have a question?
Yeah, Laura.
Yeah, I was wondering if you needed marshals or volunteers.
We are, if you can, I'll give you my email, and you can, we are not responsible for organizing marshalling, but Martin Quinn, is Martin here maybe? Martin was coordinating with the organizers, but I'll put my email in and you can reach out to me and I'll let you know when I know more.
Okay.
Because this, interestingly, is the NYPD is actually very helpful in this march because of all the different mobility devices involved. So the big crossing at 23rd Street and Broadway, there are a lot of cops there. But they were very admiring of our marshalling at the ADA rally that we did in July. So they've been reaching out to us. I just don't have the coordinator yet. So I'll give you my address and we can confer. So thank you for your interest.
Thank you, Jennifer. And I just wanted to let you and everybody else know that so many members of the climate group plan to be at the Disability Pride March that we have moved our meeting time. We usually meet on Sundays at 11. This one Sunday, we're going to be meeting at 2 on Zoom instead of at 11 so that we can go to the Disability Pride March.
Great. Oh,
and
wonderful.
That is also news for anybody who is thinking of coming to the climate meeting on Sunday. They should know that as well. It's going to be at 2 instead of 11, instead of the usual 11. The next action is going to be, Jay, are you going to talk about the Scream action?
I think No Troops is next.
Oh, you are right. No Troops is next. Thank you. I missed that. Thank you. The No Troops action, Saturday, it's the same date. Saturday, October 25th, noon. Jamie, are you going to talk about that?
Julie, am I talking about this or are you talking about it?
You can talk about it.
Thanks. So we thought we were going to be doing a No Troops action Monday, but it got canceled because of the rain and sort of the stormy nastiness. I hope no one showed up at it because we didn't come. But we are going to be doing an announced one as opposed to a sort of semi-unannounced No Troops action Saturday, October 25th. No, not hands off. Saturday, the 25th at Trump Tower at noon. We're hoping to get some traction from No Kings and get the word out about it and make this one really larger. The last couple ones have been 200 people or so, which is great, but it would be nice to make it a little bit bigger, or at least the same kind of size. A lot of chanting. We've got great new signs. We have a new No Troops in Our City's banner that we have for it. And it's just a way to kick off for the third time a No Troops movement in New York. So more on it next week. Just put it on your calendar, October 25th, 12 noon to 1 p.m. at Trump Tower.
Thank you. Are there any questions about the No Troops? All right, moving on then. Now, the Scream action, Jay, that you were going to talk about.
Yes. Judy Cutler's hand is up, I think, for the No Troops.
Judy, did you want to talk about No Troops?
Very briefly, yes. I asked a veteran what group would be good to involve, and he said vote vets. And I remember somebody on one of our meetings actually knows a vet. I wanted to ask what would be the best way to officially contact them. I mean, I'm a member, but I'm not an official from Rise and Resist. But I really think that's a really great thing to do because those are troops who don't want to be used against people. So any ideas on how to reach out to them? Thank you.
Okay, thanks. I mean, we could talk about that at the Actions Committee for who has connections, because we have a number of pacifists in our group who have connections to anti-war vet group.
Great. Thank you very much.
Okay, Jay, the Scream action.
Okay. Yeah, so folks might remember that during the first Trump administration, I think it was in the first year, some folks organized a Scream in Washington Square Park just to get community together and just get a good primal scream out together, to be in community and have a little fun, have a little kiki. And so Alyssa Stein, who does a lot of our graphics, who did the graphics for Hands Off New York, and Julie and Dan and I have been talking about doing something like that again. This time, though, rather than in Washington Square Park, because Washington Square Park has a sort of a citizenry that gets upset a lot of times when sort of big things happen in the evening time there, and there can be dangerous circumstances. So we decided that a really good and a really good symbolic place to do it this time would be Bethesda Plaza at the Bethesda Fountain, the very famous Angel Fountain, made even more famous by Angels in America. And so we want that to be Saturday, October 25th. It would be gather at 5:30 and then scream at exactly sundown, which is 6:01 p.m. So again, that's Saturday, October 25th, 5:30 to 6:30, basically. For this one, we would like a Rise and Resist endorsement, and don't need any money. Just a Rise and Resist endorsement, so it can be shared out on Rise and Resist social media, etc. Any questiones? I was defaulting to Cherie to add, but go ahead, Jamie.
I'm sorry, it's not.
You're muted, Cherie.
Oh, I'm sorry, I was muted. Jamie, did you have a question?
Yes. Hi. I have trouble with this. I've always been the kind of New Yorker that has always thought that a scream means someone needs help and that it's urgent. And I'm a little concerned about it. So my question, having said that, my question in support of it is there some sort of communication, signs, handouts, anything that helps people understand what this is? I don't mind a Dada art action, but I'm not thrilled about this because I can imagine people being startled in what I consider a really sacred place. That's just my.
I totally understand that. That's a good idea. We can make up some signs saying that this is a scream in and list the reasons for it. I think that makes sense.
Yeah, maybe invite people. We're going to be screening in 10 minutes.
Thank you, Jamie, for bringing up that concern. It's very important to bring up whatever concerns we have, because thank you for bringing that up. Julie?
I can't believe I hadn't thought of that. That's a good point, Jamie, and I know we can mitigate it. First of all, with all the wonderful inflatable costumes that people are going to be bringing to the No King's March, then I'm sure they'll bring to the Scream Fest as well, and we'll definitely make signs. We'll absolutely blanket it with signs. I'm looking forward to it just to scream, just to feel, just to have some fun with each other and not come together in anger, but just to come, I'm really looking forward to it. And I hope people will come.
Yes, find ways to communicate that it will be a joyful, cathartic scream and not a scream of terror. Irene?
I think you really should contact Central Park Conservancy. They are very fussy about the park. I know they're thinking about getting rid of the fireworks on New Year's Eve because the birds are traumatized by it. I mean, there are all kinds of reasons why people don't want things like this in Central Park. Just contact them and let them know, for heaven's sakes. And I would suggest Riverside Park, where you could scream into the river, but that's just an aside, really. But please let the people in Central Park know that you're doing this.
Yeah, we can definitely let them know. We can definitely reach out to the Conservancy.
Yeah, please.
Okay, so
who will, by the way, charge you or say no?
Yeah,
we've done events in Central Park for years.
Right. I mean, the one thing is, like, legally, the human voice, there is no law against the use of the human voice in a public space open to the public, so they cannot charge people for screaming. Especially if it's a mass screaming with, that's very clear, like a social occasion.
Jonathan.
Thank you. Just to that point, we did a huge action there some years ago with multiple banners and speeches and speaking, and there was no issue, nothing. Parks Department, no one gave a dang. And in fact, the reason you're now hearing music from the pedicabs and from people on corners is because someone challenged the Conservancy about noise and gatherings. And it was deemed basically unconstitutional because they were trying to shut everybody down, and now they can't. But if it's an event, like, you know, a birthday party, boy, will they crack down on you. But as far as
no, that's all.
these sorts of things, I personally, having handled 2 different actions in the park, I wouldn't let them know.
No.
Thank you, Jonathan. And as a matter of course, Irene, Rise and Resist doesn't ask permission. We just go and we do things. We don't get permits, and we don't usually ask permission because we're using our First Amendment rights to go and just speak. And Julie.
Julie? I don't need to speak. It's been said.
Thank you. Okay, Roberta.
Yeah, just the word, like fireworks on the 4th of July and that stuff, it really disturbs the wildlife, right? I mean, the birds, the squirrels and stuff. And, some of them don't find their way back home into their nests. It's a concern for like animals that we share the space with as well. If there's another way to do that. But just saying, I mean, it will startle them, and it may ruin their nests. They might not go back to their babies or whatever if they have them. Just saying, it's always a concern. Okay, I'm done.
Okay, so thank you.
Can I just
like I said, very good to put out every concern.
Can I just respond to that, Sheree?
Yes.
One thing. There's a big difference between a 40-minute series of explosions that engulf a very, very large area and a small contained group of people screaming for 5 minutes on a plaza, not in the woods, not like in the middle of like so I think it's a little different than a 40-minute fireworks display.
Yeah, true it is, but still, we don't know how it will affect somebody even for a minute. If that scream and those birds will go flying, the squirrels will run out of their home. Just saying. I mean, I know it's not a popular opinion, but I hear what you're saying, Jay.
Yeah.
Thank you, Roberta. Thank you, Jay. Sunny.
I just had a thought. What about Tompkins Square? We would only be scaring the rats, and a lot of people around there might join us.
Well, I mean, I think the reason that we thought about the Bethesda Fountain and the and Central Park is because it is Central Park, because it is centrally located, because it's easy to get to from the east side and the west side and uptown and downtown. It's like it's sort of like and the outer boroughs, even with the trains coming in from Brooklyn and Queens into Midtown. So we just wanted to be really easily accessible, really easy for people to get home from as well.
Okay, thank you. We've heard a lot of thoughts on this from all sides. So now it's time to take a vote. We're going to vote on whether or not we want Rise and Resist to endorse this action and put it out on social media and basically sponsor this action, not just an endorsement. So I'm going to ask people. We'll do this in 3 parts. I'm going to ask people to raise their hands if they're for it and put their hands down. Raise their hands if they're against it, and then put their hands down. And then I'll ask for any abstentions. So first, all in favor of this action taking place, please raise your hands. Okay. I'm looking at the, all right. I'm looking at the different screens. All right, everybody can put their hands down now. All hands down. There's a few.
Shauna, Elaine, and Roberta.
Okay.
Roberta, lower your hand.
All right. Now, all against Rise and Resist doing this action, raise your hands. All votes against it. Okay, I'm going to look and see the various screens here. Okay, and everybody who is abstaining, please put your hands down. Everybody who's abstaining, please raise your hands. Okay, we have more. Okay, we have. Oh, there's still some hands going up. All right. Well, it looks to me, from my rough count here, that we have more votes in favor than anything else, and we have a good number of abstentions. Does anybody have an accurate count of what just? To me, it looked like there was definitely more votes in favor, but a substantial number of abstentions. So it's something to think about when you're planning the action. But it looks like it passed. I have two more hands that went up. Donna, you're muted. Oh,
sorry, I'm really bad at this group thing. I'm just abstaining because I feel like it's such a personal thing. For me, the idea of being around a lot of people screaming would make me crazy. But I appreciate that that's how some people have to do. So it's not my thing.
Okay.
So I'm staying out.
Of course, and people, nobody has to go to the action. Just because it's happening, you don't have to go if it's not your thing. Donna, are you trying to unmute? Go ahead.
I'm unmuted.
Am I unmuted?
Yes, you are. Go ahead.
Yeah, I just want to say my feeling about it is mostly because of where it is. So if it was in a place that wasn't in a park where there were animals, I would be all in favor of it, but not. I'm really affected by that argument.
Okay, thank you, Donna. Well, when moving on to plan the action, Jay and Julian, whoever is planning it, might take that into account and think about other places, or they might not. It's up to them. It's up to them. But you do have the endorsement to go ahead with it as you see fit, and bring it back to us when the plans are more when you have if you have any changes to the plans. But it passes Saturday, October 25th, Bethesda Fountain, 5:30 to 6:30.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you. Okay. Now, next we have two actions on Halloween being proposed by the Climate Group, and Virginia is going to talk about them.
Hey, everybody. Both are on Halloween. Friday, October 31st, 1 p.m. at 72nd and Broadway by the subway stop there. Representative Jerry Nadler is doing a press conference about the pipeline, which we've been telling you about. All signs look like Kathy Hochul is going to sign it in, cave to Trump, but she hasn't yet, so they're still pressuring her, and Nadler's pressuring the other New York electeds. We have a nice little coalition opposing the pipeline, Zoran, Antonio Delgado, now Nadler. So we, the Climate Group, are going to stand behind Nadler with a pipeline. And because it is Halloween and it is the zombie pipeline, it has been killed twice and it is back.
3 times.
3 times. This is the pipeline that won't die. And we didn't even make up zombie pipeline. It's called that. So it being Halloween, we're going to take full advantage. And Jamie Leo is taking charge of costuming. We are going to zombie up and represent the zombie pipeline behind Nadler, and then carry that into the Halloween parade. So any of us activists who are like, I want to do something, I want to be in the parade, but I want to be political, come join the zombie pipeline. You line up for the parade down Spring Street around 6 p.m. If you want to join us in an art build, in costuming, in being a zombie in the parade, please come to a Climate Group at 2:00 this week. and maybe put your email in the chat and Cherie will grab it. But we would love to get people to come play in the parade with us and or stand behind Jerry Nadler at 1 p.m. also on Halloween, Friday, October 31st, to protest against the zombie pipeline.
And we guarantee to help you look your ghoulish best.
Right. Question.
I want to just add a little bit onto that. Thank you, Virginia. I'm just going to add one or two things to it. You did a great job. The Jerry Nadler thing, it's a congressional letter. They've been collecting names of congressional leaders congressional members to add to this letter, all to pressure Hochul. We have Jeffries is signed on to it. A lot of people are signed on to it. AOC is signed on to it. Lots of people, and so this is a further way of pushing Hochul to know that she's going against the Democratic Party, the Congressional Democratic Party by pushing this pipeline forward. So, and we did hear from the Nadler people today. We heard back from them today, and they are totally excited. The reason that they're doing it on Halloween is because they want us to do a zombie themed backdrop for the presentation. So it'll be all the more. It'll get out into the public a lot more. So if you want to be a zombie behind Nadler, or if you want to be a zombie at the parade, these are two different opportunities to be a zombie pipeline. And Jamie Leo is creating this zombie pipeline costumes where we will interlink our pipelines, and we'll be zombie faces with red ties, like Trump, because it's a Trump's pipeline, and interlinked as a pipeline. So it'll be really dramatic. Okay, Jay.
Yeah, I just wanted to check. So, did we register with the Greenwich Village Halloween Parade as a group marching in the parade?
We are in the process of doing that right now.
Okay,
and we want to get an estimated count, which is what they need to know.
Gotcha. Cool.
So, if I may just follow up, one of the things that we really do need is folks, again, a level of commitment, because we'll be buying some makeup and so forth. Just want to get an idea if you're possible. Somebody already posted not available till 5, that sort of thing. Take that offline with us, and we'll figure it out.
What I'm
We'll
going to
figure out where we're going to meet. We haven't got all of the ducks in a row for that right now.
Thank you. Yes, what I'm going to do here is, again, we're going to take another vote because this is a new action. So we will vote to endorse this action, and after we vote to endorse it, assuming that it passes, we will take a straw poll of people who want to participate in the at the Halloween parade specifically, so that we can give those numbers to the Halloween parade people, and so we can know how many costumes to plan for, because we're going to need to plan enough pipeline parts for everybody. Some people will also be. I need to also mention some people will also be giving out flyers at the Halloween parade, because it's very important to explain what the zombie pipeline is and why we're doing this, why we're dressed up like zombie pipelines. So we're going to have flyers that emphasize this is scary. This is Halloween. This is a zombie pipeline that's coming back and keeps coming back from the dead because of Trump, and it'll be very Halloween themed flyers explaining the situation. So,
and telling them to call Hochul.
And telling them to call Hochul. And telling them to call Hochul. So that this is the plan, that we'll be needing people who are going to be zombies handing out flyers, as well as people who are zombies on the pipeline. So we'll have both kinds of zombies at the parade. Jamie, did you want to add anything to that?
I just wanted to make clear there are two dynamics that are always in flux if you've ever spent time in the Halloween parade. One is weather, that will have to be adaptable if it gets really a cold front comes in, or if it's 80 degrees. All of those dynamics affect what we do, what we dress, costuming stuff. So we'll just need to work. Anybody interested, we just need to make sure that we have your contact so that we can negotiate with you to make sure. As far as makeup and so forth, no one is allowed in the parade pass the code, pass the permissions that we'll have. We'll need to have your name, give you special ID to get in, and you do need to have some sort of a mass treatment to go in. So just so you understand, if somebody's got skin condition and can't do white face or other makeup, then you probably, this isn't your action. Okay? Just wanted to make sure everyone is clear. It is also, I will sell it only to say that if you've never been inside the Halloween parade, once you're inside, you are in the center of one of the most creative outpourings of humanity on the planet. And it's not something you can see watching New York One or standing on the sideline. But once you're in the middle of it, it really is extraordinary. And we are talking about over 1 million people seeing our message live and then broadcast. So it gives us a chance to be visible.
Thank you, Jamie. Laura.
Yeah, quick question about the parade. What's the deadline to provide the head count? Because I don't know today if I'm available to be in the parade, but I can let you know next week.
Can we give an answer to that next week, next Tuesday?
Okay.
With the understanding that that would probably be a cutoff date. But
okay.
Sherry, does that make sense? Everybody else in the committee think that makes sense?
Yeah, I mean, you know the cutoff date. Jamie is the one who's been in charge of this aspect of it. So
if we get a show of hands tonight, get an idea if it goes up or down 5. I don't think that's going to be a problem. But if 10 people are coming as opposed to 100, then that's helpful for us to know this evening if we can.
And we need to know before the parade itself because you get a QR code to get past all the cops. So you actually do have to a little bit.
That's right. I said I would say by next Tuesday for sure. That gives us enough of a wiggle to figure it out.
Right. Richard?
If this is being seen by 1 million people on VH1, can there be a sign saying what this is and Hochul's phone number?
It's center to what we're making.
Okay, just making sure.
Thank you. Donna?
Yeah, my question is, can I do the thing with Nadler and not be in the parade?
Absolutely.
Okay, because I would like to do that.
Absolutely, yes. You can definitely do the thing with Nadler without being in the parade. This is the two things are not connected. They just happen to have the same imagery.
Right.
Yeah. And for Nadler, we can address face makeup in a simple way. We don't need to make you go white face if you don't want to, or zombie face if you don't want to.
Yeah. Carolina.
Yeah, just for the notes, what are the times of the two actions?
The Nadler action is at 1 p.m.
72nd in Broadway.
72nd in Broadway. And the parade, you would have to be at the location. What time, Jamie?
TBD, but in the ballpark of 6 p.m., which means an hour and a half of hanging out. So everyone has to be aware of that, though we usually find ways to get people to the bathrooms and so forth. So we'll work that out.
I should also mention to people, the parade is a very exhausting thing to do. People should be aware before they sign up to do the parade that it is very, very exhausting. Just it's unfortunately not something that, if you don't feel you have the stamina for it, just you don't have to do it.
Absolutely. Do it because you think it would be joyful.
Only if this is something that's really up your alley.
And I also like to, if I may, Sherry, also the way in the last 10 years, it is like many large parades where everything is police locked down terribly expensively, right? But it is all locked down, but there are major exits. So if you're with us and it's 10, 15 minutes after 8 and we're getting to Canal Street and you're toast, you can then exit gracefully there. And there's several cross streets where you're allowed. Once you leave, you can't come back. But we'll brief people in more detail for folks that say yes.
And one more thing about what we do while we're waiting is we're going to be working out a little bit of choreography.
Exactly.
Of the zombie pipeline dance for the crowd to distribute the call.
Okay, so let's have a vote. I'm going to do the same thing we did before. Voting for, then voting against, and then abstentions. So all in favor of right? Well, I'll do the. I guess I should do the two actions separately. Okay, all in favor of us doing the Nadler action raise your hands. Okay. All right. You can put your hands down. All against us doing the Nadler action, raise your hands, please. Okay. I don't see any hands against. Any abstentions for the Nadler action? Okay, no abstentions. So that Nadler action passes. Now we're going to do the parade. All in favor of Rise and Resist contingent of zombie pipelines at the parade, please raise your hands. Okay. Okay, you can put your hands down. And all right, all hands down. Okay. Then all against Rise and Resist having a contingent at the Halloween parade of zombie pipelines. Anybody against that?
Peter, your hand is still up from before.
Peter, I think your hand is up from before. Okay. All right. And any abstentions? Okay, so that one passes too. I'm going to put the address of the Rise and Resist Climate Contingent Gmail group, the Rise and Resist Gmail address for the climate group in the chat. And anybody who would like to participate with the climate group, you don't have to be a regular member of the climate group to do the parade or the Nadler action, but if you would like to be part of the climate group, I can put you on our list, and if you just want to be on it for a short time, just to go to come to our Tuesday meeting and get the Zoom link, you can do that as well. So I'll put that in. You can send an email letting me know that you want to be on the list, and I'll add you to the list. All right, I'm going to move on. I'm going to give the facilitator hat back. Oh wait, Brendan, go ahead. Go ahead, Brendan.
Do you need to know if there's anyone who wants to participate?
I would like that show of hands.
Yeah. I'm sorry. I forgot to do the show of hands. I was so carried away by the vote. Yes. Can we have a show of hands for how many people think that they might be at the parade, who might want to be zombies at the parade, specifically at the parade? Okay, I see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Wait, I'm seeing some raised hands, physical hands. I see a whole bunch on the next page. 12, 13, 14, 15. Okay, I'm seeing 15 raised hands for people who want to be zombie. Wait, maybe I should recount. I'm seeing about the number it's shifting a little bit, but in the range of 15 to 20 hands, and that's not counting people in the climate group who might want to be in it who are not on this call. Okay, great, thank you. I'm going to give the facilitator reins back over to Jay. Go ahead, Jay.
Okay, so next up, we wanted to have in the facilitation group, we decided, well, and I think in prior meetings, we talked about wanting to have a discussion about our monthly hybrid meetings that we've been having since, I want to say January, but maybe it was February, where we, take space at the LGBT Center and also hybridize that onto Zoom. We just wanted to give I don't think that we have scheduled it for this month yet, but I may be wrong about that. But we wanted to see what people's thoughts were about about the hybrid, how they're going, how they are from the perspective of people in the room, how they are from the perspective of people that are on the Zoom. Basically, we want to try to come to a consensus and a decision about whether we want to continue them, but and we also want to know about folks' ideas in terms of ways to improve the hybrid meeting, if that's, if people have ideas around that. And also in the facilitation discussion was brought up the notion of having I'll backtrack to say that one of the main reasons that we had the hybrid meeting is because after 3, 4, however many decades it was of being on Zoom, after having had our first 2017, 2018, all of 2019, first a little bit over 3 years of Rise and Resist meetings were always in person. Every meeting was in person, and then COVID hit, and then we modified and adjusted, and we shifted to Zoom. And then in January of this year, particularly after the election, some folks got together at Jamie and Donna's apartment, some longtime members, and just talked about in the process of being in person, how much we liked being in person and how important it was to see each other in the face and not in little squares. And so we came up with the idea of having first a town hall and then hybrid meetings at least once a month. And we've been doing it ever since. But there are technical challenges in that. There are some folks that live out of state. There are some folks that can't make the in-person meetings ever really. But there's some folks who really like coming in person. Some folks have talked about the idea of maybe having a monthly social hour that's not a meeting as a way to get together in person, not at an action and not in a meeting, but just to have some conviviality. That might be a possibility. So we just wanted to open up all of those questions to the group. Anyone who would like to chime in. We're not voting on anything today. We're just want to have like a 5-minute discussion, 10-minute discussion on what people's thoughts were. So if anyone would like to chime in, I see Rick and then I see Donna so far. Go ahead, Rick, and then Jackie.
Yeah, I really missed past tense, missed the in-person meetings. So I was making a point of going to, I think, the first few hybrid, but they didn't really do it for me because I don't know, something about the room and everybody's not there and just it wasn't the same. I like the idea of doing some kind of social thing, and I haven't probably been to them in a long time, so I don't even know how many people have been showing up. I'd be curious to know how many people have been going in person to those. Thanks.
Oh, that's a good question. I would say between 30 and 40. I think we've been having each week. I think that's about right. That was a good question, Rick.
I guess, and what do they cost is my other question for rent.
Yeah, how much are we spending each month? Anyone? Is Kevin here? I know that Kevin's been.
We passed the hat and have collected enough to cover it.
Okay. So Donna and then Jackie, and then I've got Robert, then Donna, then so that's Donna Gould, and then Jackie.
Right. Yeah.
And then
I've been to all of them, and my feeling initially was that I loved seeing people, but I didn't really like having the meeting there. And on the other hand, the last one I went to was pretty good. So, I mean, I really wanted to just have a chance to see people. And I probably would like that the best, but then it turned out that the last one was pretty good. So I'm ambivalent.
Thanks, Donna. Don't forget to take your hand down. Jackie?
Yeah, I'm one of the people who suggested this happen. And I've been to every meeting as well. And I really like seeing people that were not in an action. But I'm feeling also on the fence about it because I feel like those meetings are very uneven. I can't really feel the people who are on Zoom, even if their little boxes are up there. There's no real connection, and I don't believe they can feel us. So I feel like it's uneven in a way that doesn't feel good. It doesn't feel. I don't like leaving people out. I don't like that they're on another level. So for that reason, and I also thought that, the whole point was to get together and then maybe have some, fellowship after. But after the meeting, people just want to go home. So it doesn't turn out to be that way. So we're really, with each other as we would be at an action. There isn't like a lot of, back and forth and stuff. So I feel like it's probably a better idea maybe to get together socially, if that's a possibility. I don't feel good about, I'm always in the room and other people are always not in the room, and they're not going to get the same experience. So, yeah.
Thank you, Jackie. Don't forget to take your hand down. Robert.
Yeah, I basically concur with Jackie. It's a very fractured experience, and I don't feel the group as much as I do even on Zoom. And I do get the fellowship at meetings, and I do want to hear. I see Sandy's hands up. I do want to hear from some of the people who put it on, because it's a lot of work that work could be done that energy could be used in actions, and so it's a lot of work for the people who put it on. And I thank you for it, but I don't know if you need to keep doing it.
Thanks, Robert. Don't forget to take your hand down. Donna Frankel.
My computer died when you were first asking for newcomers. And I just want to say that I haven't been part of the group since the beginning because I've been dealing with all kinds of physical stuff. And I'm so happy to be here, and I'm so grateful that you're on Zoom so I can attend as I'm slowly trying to get back into the world. So I love that you're doing the hybrid stuff, and I would also love to see you all in person. And there was nothing nicer than running into you on the street, Jay, and being able to give you a hug. So I just want to say I'm happy that I'm here. I've missed being a part of things, and I'd love for the hybrid as I work my way back. But basically, I love meeting in person. So,
thank you, Donna. Sandy.
Yeah, I have found the in-person meetings to be really tough to achieve any of the community building part of it that I think was part of the idea behind getting together, because you have to be really quiet for the people on Zoom, so you can't even really whisper to the person next to you. Not, that's probably disruptive anyway. Also, I just feel like we aren't really achieving any of the objectives that we set out to achieve. I would love to separate. We have our meetings on Zoom so that everybody can participate in the same way. We are all together here. And that maybe, once a month may be too much, but maybe 4 to 6 times a year, we rent a space at the center or whatever, and we can bring food and we can, really have a cocktail party and enjoy one another's company and really do some community building and build some joy into it. And we don't need to worry about people being left out. So that would be my vote, to separate the two objectives and continue our meetings on Zoom and do some community building and fun separately.
Thank you, Sandy. Virginia.
Sort of I don't think I'm with everybody on online in person isn't working well. But for an in-person thing, what if it was something that wasn't exactly a party and wasn't exactly a meeting, but was taking advantage of how much everybody here knows? And it was sort of more like a salon thing where we discussed ICE or healthcare, and we really got to hear from everybody, and that people just actually got to talk about the news of the day and how we're feeling and strategy in a semi-structured way. I would love to do that with this group of people, just in a room without trying to make the computer stuff work at the same time.
Thanks, Virginia. Yeah, and that's what that meeting at Jamie and Donna's really was, and that was a really great things. John, go ahead.
I'll give a perspective as a person who's pretty new here. This year, I found the opportunity, not knowing anybody at all, to see things up close and in person and to build a little bit of extra trust and get introduced to a few people face to face at those meetings, I found really valuable, and it made this process of getting to know the group a lot faster.
Thank you for that, John. And don't forget to take your hand down. Mark.
I really like these hybrid and in-person meetings once a month. I think they do a lot for the group. I'd be really sorry to see them go. In the spirit of the not letting the perfect be the enemy of the good, keep them going.
Thank you, Mark. Jill.
Yeah, as much as I really like seeing everybody, I also feel like it is a very divided experience, and I also always feel bad for the people that are in charge of the technical things because they work so very hard to put it on. And I really like Virginia's idea of somehow just coming together and using everybody's brains and knowledge. I know I could learn a lot from people and talk about, what's going on, everybody's opinions and input.
Thank you, Jill. Martin.
Hi, I just wanted to say, since I've been attending Rise and Resist meetings, I've been making an effort to go to the hybrids. I love them. I get a sense of warmth and camaraderie, and it calms me down a little bit. I have had many conversations with members that wonder what day of the month their hybrids are so they can attend. People don't know in general. I think a salon is a great idea, but I think new members aren't as likely to go to a salon as they are a meeting. And I heard John's point, and I think it is positive for new members to make that face-to-face contact, especially in this 21st century where face-to-face contact isn't as common.
Thank you, Martin. Dan.
Hi. Yeah, I think the salon thing, maybe a little bit to kind of discuss some of the ideas, but I do think getting together more on a social basis might be good to exchange ideas and strategy. Especially some of us are on very different levels when it comes to technical things. That would be a great opportunity to explain things to people. Which we don't really get that opportunity during the meetings because everyone wants to go home or go have a drink after. So there's no time to say, okay, here's how you do this. Here's how you do this. Someone may have a problem with something else. And with a bunch of people there, someone will likely have an answer to your question. So that's a good way to exchange information and learn.
Thank you, Dan. And Martin, don't forget to take your hand down. Wendy.
I've had a lot of scheduling challenges lately and have not been able to participate in a lot of things. So to go, I haven't gone to, I think I went to the first hybrid meeting where I had to beg people to wear masks. And after that, I was like, nah. But also, to go schlep somewhere and try to fit that into my schedule when it's the same kind of experience that I can have on Zoom. Mm-hmm. The idea of doing something different, whether it's social or something like a discussion session with a theme along the line of what Virginia said, that's like a more compelling reason to get out and about because it's an experience that I'm not going to have on Zoom.
Thank you, Wendy. Bob Horan. Unmute.
There we go. How you doing? Yeah, I have a more general comment to make. I'm one person who lives pretty far out of the city. I mean, when I come into Actions, it's a long trip for me. But I'm very happy when I'm physically with people at some of the Actions, and I'm considering going to a hybrid meeting because it's just. I live out in an area where I'm surrounded by Trump people, and I just like the feeling of community, being close to people at these Actions, and so that's my comment actually.
Thank you, Bob. Andy Ratto.
Hi. I think I've been to 3 hybrid meetings in person and maybe 3 or so on Zoom. I like the in-person meetings themselves, and I think for every single one after, I went to hang out with some RAR friends. There's a cute little Cuban place around the corner. And we're all busy people, and it's hard to sometimes, grab 4 or 5 people who are all free and available to meet up. So when we kind of force ourselves to do some productive organizing in the same place at the same time, it makes it very easy to then facilitate a hangout. So, for that reason alone, I like them. And when I've been on Zoom, I haven't really felt the disconnect or had it feel that much different or worse, than when we're all on Zoom versus when other people are in person. So that issue doesn't really come up for me. But one thought I had is that we would just maybe do them kind of every other month instead of kind of aiming for once a month. And so maybe not as frequent, but it still gives us the opportunity to conduct some business in person, to see each other in person, to hang out after, and then kind of all the other social ideas people have been bringing up, I think could work maybe as well on the off months when we're not having an in-person meeting.
That's an interesting idea, Andy. Thank you. Anne Rubin, hi.
Yeah, that is a good idea. I just wanted to chime in as someone who can't be at the in-person meetings to say I'm actually for them, and that being always on the Zoom, I don't really feel left out. The only thing that was tricky was at the very beginning when we had some technical difficulties. And because I usually do some backup when we have committee reports, putting, info and stuff in the chat, and people who are in the room present can't really see that, but that's issues surmountable. So I just think it's worth doing. And I just wanted to say, I don't know that we need to look for the hybrid meetings to feel the same and be exactly the same as what we had before we went to Zoom meetings, before the pandemic. I mean, and I think it's important for so many new people who've joined to have that opportunity. But I think none of that precludes doing some of these other great suggestions like Virginia's and, or if it's important, going to every other time or having some other kinds of get-togethers. I don't think it's all of the above.
Great, thank you, Anne. So we've got 3 more people. I'm going to close the stack here. We are really running overtime. MD and then Peter and then Susan, and then we're going to close it out.
Just to say that I think I agree with the idea of that being in person is important. I often refer to this book, Team Human by Douglas Rushkoff. I'll put it in the chat. But it's important, especially for new people, because, in terms of our knowing each other, people who are already familiar with each other on Zoom, it's great. It's very helpful. But for new folks, getting to a point of trust, it's very important to be in the same room together, to breathe together, to actually be present. And so I think the idea of meeting in person, I like Virginia's idea, I will go on, but I think of having some in-person, and especially with the idea of welcoming new people, is critical. So I think that's very important. The hybrid, I think, it's not ideal. At school, we had to use it, and it was always considered the worst of, both. It's better to either have it in person or have it all on Zoom than to have hybrid, because hybrid just creates 2 levels of participation. It's just not good. So I do like the idea of in person, though, one way or another, once a month.
Thank you, MD. So Peter?
Yeah, thanks, Jay. Could we possibly reach out to somebody at one of the community centers like Fulton, the Fulton houses, or I don't know, does anyone live in the group, live at Westbeth? I could ask friends of mine who have loft spaces in Soho. I just would need to know, like, how many people are we talking about would likely come, and maybe a best estimate of that would be how many people come in person when we have the hybrid meetings at the center. Do you have an idea of that?
Between 30 and 40 is what we've been having lately.
Then I would think that a decent loft space could accommodate them and be a nice way to have a salon and for newcomers to meet folks. I don't know.
Okay, that's an interesting idea, Peter. Thank you. And then Susan?
Yeah, hi. I'm relatively new. I've been attending meetings for and doing actions for about 3 or 4 months, and I actually really love the hybrid meeting, the in-person piece, that we can do that once a month. And I promote RAR all the time, and I've brought some new people, and people really do want to get to know folks, and it's really hard to do that on Zoom. I also have found that when you do actions, there is plenty of bonding time sometimes, especially like jail support. That's where I became really bonded with some of the people. So I just think it's helpful for new folks, and I think, a lot of new folks have joined recently.
Mm-hmm. Thank you, Susan. Wow, that was a really lively discussion. I'm so glad that people really had really strong thoughts. We're going to try to take them back to facilitation and distill them. And there were a lot of great ideas so that we can, have a future conversation. I'm going to turn things back over to Cherie. We are so far over time.
We are very, very far behind. So I'm going to ask everybody who's going to be presenting at the committee reports and the reports back to please try and make your comments as quick as possible. We're going to start with the legal committee.
Okay, that's me. I'm going to be giving that report. So I just wanted to go back in time for a minute in case not everybody here knows the background of this. Last March, Rise and Resist was sort of targeted by Elon Musk in a tweet. And that led to a letter that Marjorie Taylor Greene sent to Pam Bondi to investigate us. And there was a New York Post article indicating that we were falsely in default with the IRS. Now, nothing happened, and nothing has happened yet, but a number of us took the initiative back in March, and we interviewed 3 attorneys so that we had some relationships that we had established just in case. And what we decided to do last week, and those of you who were at the meeting last week, we decided to form a legal committee to pick up where we left off in March and actually make some decisions about what attorney we would like to work with if Rise and Resist was targeted, what would trigger an outreach to an attorney, and to spend some money. And last week we voted, and a legal committee was established, and it's made up of Susan Lee, Rick Weisenfeld, Kevin Fitzgerald, Jackie Rudin, and myself. And we actually met over this past weekend, or 3 of the 5 of us did, and we were in communication with Rick and Jackie by email. And we made a decision that if we were going to work with an attorney, and this again is for organizational issues at the Rise and Resist level, that we decided that Richard Emery would be the best choice for Rise and Resist. And Richard Emery and his firm, who many of us met with, and all the people who were on the committee met with, really have the broadest experience of the 3 attorneys that we met with. They're very much in alignment and supportive of what we do. And it was interesting, they actually expect as a firm to at some point be targeted by Trump themselves. So we kind of thought they might be the most prepared to take on issues that might come up for us. We decided that what would trigger an outreach to a lawyer would be any communication about a legal issue that came from a federal, state, or city agency. And if we received that at the organizational level, we would reach out to Richard Emery. So the net impact and the net outcome of this was that we emailed Richard Emery on Monday, just letting him know nothing has happened, but that, was his firm prepared to work with us in case we needed him. We heard back from him within 30 minutes. He immediately returned the email and said, "We will do our very best for you. Absolutely. We'll work with you." So we are going to stay on the case. Again, nothing to worry about, no cause for alarm, nothing has happened, but the situation is heated up, and we just wanted to be proactive and make sure that we're ready if something should occur.
Good.
Susan, did you want to add anything to that?
Well, Richard said, how I read it was that Richard said that, sure, if all goes well, they'd be available. And I was very pleased that he got back to us as soon as that. Lawyers have been known not to get back to people for days, if not weeks.
Okay, thank you very much. We have only 10 minutes left, 9 minutes left for the whole rest of the agenda, and we have a lot left on the agenda. So if your questions are not essential, I would ask that you put your hands down. If not, I'll call on you. Okay, thank you. The next, we're going to move on to the elections group.
In the interest of time, I think we'll pass for this week and come back next week.
Can I just say one thing, Mark? I just want to alert people. I'm going to put in the chat the link to our Google Doc that lets people know what volunteer for Mondami opportunities there are, and it's really, really important that people open that up and take a look, because it's not just the general link that you can get off his website, but updated links for things that we're getting through signal groups and other opportunities that aren't necessarily advertised. And there's an opportunity tomorrow at a senior center that people are at seniors for Mondami are looking for. So someone's asking a question. Where is it?
Go ahead, Miriam, do you have a question?
Rick's asking a question. Where is it? Rick, I'm going to put the Google Doc link in the chat as soon as I finish talking, and people should open it up and look at it because there are very time-sensitive opportunities in it.
Thank you so much, Anne. That's very helpful. Miriam, did you have a quick question for Anne? You can unmute, please.
I wrote something in the chat. I've been going to, about 10 minutes ago, I've been going to meetings of Brooklyn Center for Independence of the Disabled. They're concerned that Mondami has not responded to disability groups that tried to meet and form just a connection with him. And instead of pursuing that, they put together a list of questions that they're going to send to his office. And I'll hear tomorrow what the outcome was. They asked everybody to edit it. So I don't know the next step. And I don't know if he's been invited to the Disability Pride Parade, but as of the last meeting, there was no response. I also put it on Twitter. I didn't get any response. I did get a response, by the way, from Brad Holman Siegel and Tony Simone. But in terms of Mondami, it was a concern that he didn't respond to disability groups.
Thank you for sharing that with us, and thank you for you will be able to update us on that next Tuesday at the next meeting. And I hope that he does come through for disability groups. Obviously, thank you. All right, moving on to the comms group. Comms.
Hi, hello. Hi. Yeah. So we meet on Mondays at 6:00. Join our Zoom. I put in that I put a bunch of links on there. The Zoom. Oh shit. Join our Zoom Signal. I'm sorry. Our Signal chat. It is an announcement channel, so that way you get announcements if things are canceled. Because some people didn't get notification that our one of our last actions was canceled. And please RSVP to No Kings. Andy, can you put that in the thing?
Yes.
Andy. Okay. Anything else you want to take over real quick?
Yeah. I put a message in the chat. Most of it speaks for itself. I just wanted to call attention to that item number 5, which is a link to some ideas about how you can get the word out about No Kings. This is, organic ways to tell your friends via phone calls, text messages, email lists, group chats, flyers, all of that. So please feel free to save that Google Doc link that's that item number 5 I sent to the chat. And just kind of start testing all this out. And we want to refine that, get your feedback, and really kind of build a well-oiled machine to do that sort of organic outreach for all of our events.
Thank you, Andy. Okay, moving on to the healthcare group. Does
nothing to report this week? Thank you.
Great, thank you, Mark. Okay, Jay, reports back.
Okay, yeah. Jamie suggested that we skip reports back. I'm going to do 2 quick reports back. The Tish James and Foley Square was an amazing action. That was on Friday after he said he was going to, after the charges were brought and the grand jury brought the charges. And it was a great turnout of people. Rise and Resist was and other folks were there marshaling. Really did a great job. There was one group or one really annoying guy who's apparently got a bee in his bonnet about Mamdani, and our marshals marshaled the hell out of him. He's just like an attention seeker that just goes around calling Mamdani an anti-Semite. But there was a lot of great speakers, really strong rally. So I'm really glad that Rise and Resist, participated in that. The next one was on Saturday. There was a rally in support of Mamdani, LGBTQ New Yorkers for Mamdani. That was at the AIDS Memorial, and that was very well attended. A lot of great speeches. I think that same guy showed up again, and Mamdani's security basically handled him. Then it was as Mamdani was leaving the park. But it was very, very overall, though, really, really positive thing. It didn't detract from what was actually the rally itself. And if folks want to follow Gays for Mamdani on Instagram, that's the group that planned and executed the rally. And they're having a watch party at $3 bills on the night of the next debate, which is like late next week, I think, if people are interested in that. We have 2 more minutes, if any, for the pipeline or the Epstein, or Cherie.
Yeah. I'll just quickly talk about the pipeline action today. We printed up 200 flyers and we went to the Staten Island Ferry to do very Staten Island specific flyering about the pipeline. We thought that immigration when we used to do immigration vigils at the Staten Island Ferry, no more than 200 flyers would be given out in an hour, so that's how many we printed up. We were able to give out our 200 flyers in 20 minutes. It turns out that when you tell people that their utility rates are going to go up, they really want to take a flyer. So that was, we learned a good lesson there. We're going to print up a lot more flyers the next time we go, and it was very successful action. And I want to give a particular call out to Joanna O., who came down all the way from Riverdale to the Staten Island Ferry just to hand out these flyers, and also Elaine came in from Queens. People, we are a small but mighty group of very dedicated people. Thank you.
Awesome, thanks, Cherie.
Just real quick, I just want to give a shout out to the store. So go to the website and then go to the store. We have Mamdani shirts, No King shirts, Rise and Resist shirts. All of your shirt needs are there.
Great, thanks, Dan. And then the Epstein action at Trump Tower today, 30 seconds. Anybody that participated in it? I know they stopped by Truth Tuesdays, but did anybody participate in Lori's whole march? How'd it go?
Yeah, I did. It started at Times Square. There was maybe a dozen people. They read testimony from the women who testified in front of Congress, and then they timed it to march in front of us at Rise and Resist, which made it, I think we really boosted their action. And then I had to go home, so I didn't get to Trump Tower. But it was for the women. It was in support all about Epstein and releasing the files and the moral character of Trump and his connections to Epstein.
Excellent. Thank you, Robert. And I will back up Dan. I have my Rise and Resist and Zoran shirt, and I love it, and I've been wearing it a lot. So definitely look into that one. Any non-Rise and Resist actions? You got 15 seconds.
Save the
No?
chat. Save the chat.
Save
I
the
put my
chat.
non-rise and resist action
Ryan?
in the chat.
Well, Ryan, your hand is up.
Hey, sorry, yeah, I'll make it quick. I think maybe this is something that I don't know if you can hear me.
Maybe
Maybe
hear you. Just say the thing.
Mark and I could talk about ACT UP and Planet, ACT UP and PNHP. We're doing on Halloween Hokel Pocus. We're going to go outside of Hokel's office. It's going to demand a special session for the New York Health Act. Maybe this can be a conversation where Rise can sign on. It's Halloween, 10 a.m. on the 31st. Mark.
Okay, give us more details next week. That's great. Shelley?
My friend wants to make flyers of chants for this March. If anybody has ideas, I put my email in the chat, Esperlin.co.
Okay, great. Excellent. Any other non-rise and resist actions? No? Oh my God, we're only 1 minute over. We did it! Okay, you can unmute everybody, show your doggies, show your kitties, and we will unmute and we will say the magic word. Rise and resist!
Rise and resist!
Rise and resist.
Bye, everybody.
Have a good night, guys.
Good night, everyone.
Night, everybody.
Thank you, Paul, and thank you, Carolina.
Thank you.